Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay. We decided to be a little bit different, a little bit strange,
edgy,
and we're going to try to review all the Star Wars movies in preparation for The Force Awakens in one shot, mostly unedited because, you know, memory cards. And we're going to review all them shits right now, starting with The Phantom Menace.
That's why you must have a big memory card, my young Padawan lover. Okay, so The Phantom Menace. Oh shit, that fucking name makes my dick hurt. Yeah, like, I was telling Mike, I remember I was like 8th grade or something, I went and seen this in theaters. Everybody was in denial that went and seen this movie because you were sitting in the theater, you were watching this fucking movie, and you knew it wasn't good. But you was like, it's fucking Star Wars, how can this suck? And holy shit beans, it did. It felt like a video game. That's over CG, like it literally, George Lucas snorted cocaine and was like, I can have all the computer technology in the world! Click, more fucking, we have to have more CG. He completely went against all the traditional stuff that made Star Wars so great and had that good feel about it, that practical effects. He went against all of that, and he was like, all CG, all the time, 24/7. I'd buy that for $1 kind of attitude, and fuck it, that's what he did, and that's what you got. You got a straight up video game-ish, cliche, just stupid characters, poorly written dialogue. Some of the scenes were good, most especially the Darth Maul scene, like, other than, like, but, god damn, dude, like, this movie is just terrible.
Yeah, well, I was the same as you. My dad took me to see this in 1999. I was 14 years old, and I hadn't experienced the Star Wars thing. Like, I'd watched them one day. I took the original, the Holy Trilogy, and I watched them all on VHS and maybe some popcorn and loved it. But I went to go see this, and I was so excited, and I was like you, with everybody else. If you watch the videos of the people back then in 99 going in, they're like, this is going to be the greatest movie ever. And then they would come out of the theater, and they would be like, it lives up to the Holy Trilogy. Like, it's great. And then you're knowing, like you said, it's pure denial. I was the same way. I was like, yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing.
What's bad is when you're sitting in the theater and everybody around you knows it sucks. You're like, no. And they're like, was it good? It's like, yeah.
There was one guy, dude, that they interviewed, and he was there. Everybody else was like, it was amazing. And this one guy came out, and they were like, what'd you think? And he was like, I thought it sucked. He's like, I think George Lucas owes me my fucking ticket money back. And I was like, that guy has balls of steel.
But there was also a person, I know what you're talking about, you can watch it on YouTube, it's a documentary, but there was one guy that's like, I'm going to slip my wrist if it sucks. And I read it in one of the comments, the guy was like, that man killed himself. I was like, yes, George Lucas took a dump on your childhood right there. But you know what? I will say there are moments in it that are good. I love Darth Maul. I love Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. I thought those were fucking amazing characters. I even kind of like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. He wasn't as good, but it's still Ewan McGregor. He was way better than Jake Lloyd. I didn't like Jake Lloyd at all. I'm sorry. I know he's a kid. I'm not trying to rag on him, and he was only 8 years old when he did this. And it may not have been his fault, but the way that he delivered those lines, you just wanted to fucking punch that kid back to the galaxy. Because he was like, you know, it's so wizard, Andy. I was like, shut the fuck up. Who makes up that shit? And he was like, I'm a person and my name is Eddie. It's like, no, you're a fucking slave. Get done. I mean, it was just one of those things. He was just annoying. It was like an annoying dialogue. And again, Natalie Portman, great, amazing actress. This movie, like the way it was written though, she was better than, you know, Jake Lloyd and fucking some of the other characters that went in it, but it didn't feel like, it felt so shoehorned. There was just something about it so forced.
No, I'm with you there. The Force. I'm with you there. On Anakin, it's weird. I have a weird feeling about it. I thought Jake Lloyd did an okay job. I thought he did a good job. Like, I thought him as Jake Lloyd, as the kid from Jingle All the Way, I thought he did a good job, but I thought he was poorly casted.
Are you sure that's his?
Yeah, Jake Lloyd. I thought he was poorly casted as hell because, like, and I could see it in George Lucas's mind what they wanted to do with this. And this is why I have an extreme dislike for George Lucas, as much as, like, you know, I praise these movies or whatever. The problem is with this movie is that they were thinking about money. They were thinking about money. They wanted to bring Anakin in. They could have brought a little bit older, a little bit one that makes more sense for that character. Yeah. But they wanted this kid, this Jingle All the Way kid that all kids could relate to. They wanted the pod racing scene. They wanted Jar Jar Binks. They wanted to sell fucking toys, and that's why they shat on this movie. And like I felt bad. I feel bad for the kid. Like, I felt like he did an okay job. And there was times when I liked him, but I'm with you. At times it was like, shut the fuck up. And it's not his fault. It was his script was written to sell fucking toys. Like, that's what his character was put in there for, and I hated that.
There was parts of the movie, you can tell that it could have been a great movie. Like, there are little, like, you know, but the whole thing with the Trade Federation, the droids, it was fucking terrible. Like, those guys were annoying. The story, that just seems, like, if it hadn't been the Trade Federation, they were just doing this over CG droid shit, droid army, it might have been better. I don't know, but the whole idea behind, like, you know, they want to foreshadow other things, and there's little moments in the movie where they are foreshadowing it. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. But then you have parts of it that just seem like just so corny and cheesy. Like, you know, when Qui-Gon Jinn gets on board, and he was like, okay, when he was like, I'll talk about that in a second, but he was like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker. It just made it like, oh, we know what's gonna happen one day. You're gonna fucking slice that asshole up. Yeah. But it was just, it just felt corny. But then like when you saw the midi-chlorians. And that's the Jedi, so apparently it's herpes. Like, if you have, like, a high herpes count, you're, like, I don't know, like, they didn't, why the fuck do you need to know what the Force is? Yeah. Why do you need to know it's midichlorians or whatever? He's like, that's the highest since Yoda. Yeah. Like, not even Master Yoda has a midichlorian count that high. I was like, well, that's good for him. He got checked out the doctor and he didn't have it. But I'm just saying, like, I just didn't like that part. But again, like, I like some of the foreshadowing. I like that they tried to make other things that were going to be happening later on tie together. But again,
I mean, when they were the way that they, you got to give them some credit. Even though the script sucks in a lot of areas, you have to give them some credit that the way that they reverse engineered this whole thing. And we'll talk about the other movies as we go along. But when you watch the original trilogy again, it does add some backstory that you kind of like in it, even though you don't like certain things. Let me say this: the feeling of adventure and excitement and wonderment is still there in these movies. Like, you have the Star Wars feeling, and that's what makes this movie okay. It makes it decent, despite it being one of the worst CGI laden, worst looking, sometimes worst acted, and sometimes worst scripted movies in history to me. I think it's so wooden sometimes, it's awful.
I think that we didn't mention this, and I'm sure people didn't know this. 50 Cent was in this movie. Yeah, he was. Because no, because I was gonna say, you know, fucking Padme's goddamn Starship Cruiser. It's all chromed out. It looks like what?
It's the fucking X-Jet.
I know. It looks like, I was like, that's 50 Cent's fucking ride. If he was in this movie, that's exactly what he goes. You can find me in the club, like, and it was like he'd have that shit. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, it just gone that. And it doesn't hold up, like, because it's so overcooked with the CG shit. It looks like shit even now. Like, back then, I guess, you know, cutting edge, it looked decent. You know, but even then, back when I watched this in '99, when you do it too much, it loses all its meaning. It's just like, it doesn't look good. And that's why Abrams was going to do well, because he's mixing the practical effects with, I mean, granted, CG looks a lot better now, but still, he's going to do it in the right way. George Lucas just went fucking ape shit on the CG. Somebody didn't pull his ass back.
And it makes sense, too, the way that you watch these movies now, because when you watch A New Hope, it's like, oh, it makes sense that this is the fourth movie, because this movie looks 10 times better than the movies we're talking about right now, dude. Talking about Ewan McGregor, though, real quick, I want to say, in the future movies, I did like his character a lot.
Yeah, he grows.
But in this movie, he is way too, like, he's 28 when he does this role, and he acts like a 12-year-old. He's like, Nasta, do you think we could?
Well, I kind of get,
what do you think?
I kind of got his role in that, because he's supposed to be the young, brash Jedi Knight.
It's too much, though.
Well, I know, but that was the whole thing. Like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, in a lot of ways, is like Anakin Skywalker as he gets older, because he's reckless in a way, and that's what Qui-Gon's trying to hold him back. And he's like, if you would just listen to the council, you'd be one of them. He's like, goes, I must do what I must, Obi-Wan. Mm-hmm. You know, I get, like, the whole idea behind
their journey's good, though. I do like Ewan McGregor, and like you said, Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon Jinn's badass. Oh, God, fucking awesome. And we'll get to Darth Maul, because that's great, too. There's greatness in this movie. There's Star Wars greatness perched inside of the dark, shitty CGI in this movie.
That's one of the things about it. Darth Maul, without him, it would have been the worst. I mean, you couldn't. The only saving grace would have been Liam Neeson.
And what's crazy, dude, is that you did all the CGI robots, which the robots, they're the worst villains ever. It's like playing a video game with terrible AI. They're like, we'll just stand here and let you shoot us and hit you with your lightsaber from 30 yards away, and we won't be able to hit you.
I know. He was like, not just that, they even fucking told us like, Roger, Roger. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Let me go back to protocol. You're under arrest.
Yeah, like, no, he's like, we're transport. He's like, no, it doesn't compute. You're under arrest. Oh my god. I was like, just put. I wish they had just been regular villains. Yeah. Like, it may be that the Trade Federation hired a smuggling army or a fucking mercenary group, and they would have been like, it would have made, it would just look so much better if it had been
Darth Maul, one of the best villains in Star Wars history. He's a badass. And what's crazy, dude? That's fucking face makeup. No CGI, fucking face makeup, coolest looking guy in the movie.
I thought that was his real face. But no, Ray Park was amazing in this, and when that double blade lightsaber came out, everybody went, oh my god! Like, it was like this, but he was like, when he held it up and it was like, boom, he's like, yes, and then you're like, boom, I was like, oh my god.
And the lightsaber battle is one of the greatest, I mean, you perch into this shit stuff, one of the greatest lightsaber battles in the whole thing.
And the music is amazing.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, dude, that music was bum, 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 bum. That's like, you know what that is? That's like at you guys, you know, I'm gonna say it because it's December. That's like the last minute shopping. It's like, I gotta get somebody something. So you're running at the store. Yeah. That music's coming on. But yeah,
the fight scene, dude.
That was fucking amazing.
The way that they did that when the things would come down and they'd have to stare at each other and just wait, and Darth Maul just looking back at him, that was so cool and so amazing. And that whole lightsaber, from like, if I was a kid playing with my toys and I set up my own situation and I wanted to make the most badass lightsaber fight possible, Qui-Gon Jinn dies, Ewan McGregor goes nutso, and then the way that he jumps up and cuts him in half, and the way Darth Maul falls in half, falling down, perfection.
You know what? I think
awesome.
that a lot of people get really reflective about it. They like, did Obi-Wan give into the dark side when because he just watched Qui-Gon get killed and he got really mad, and then he's fucking viciously attacking Darth Maul, and he whips his ass for a little bit. He like breaks. I was like, you just broke that fucker's lightsaber in half, and then like, you know, obviously, but I think he was still calm. I loved it though that they showed when Darth Maul is pacing back and forth, he's got this viciousness about him, but you see the differences. He's got this, and you can just feel this rage and fury, this kind of contained thing. But then Qui-Gon just like rests, and he does this, monk thing, and then he draws the string. It was such a different. You can see the disparity between Jedi and what a Jedi should be, and a Sith Lord.
That's awesome.
I loved it, and I was like, I wish that they had never killed off Darth Maul. Okay, but the only thing is, if you are a fan of it, I get that. Like, I understand because it is Star Wars, and it does answer questions that people had about the original trilogy, and they do a decent job of answering some of the questions. And I like Anthony Daniels that played C-3PO. I like that he came back. I like Kenny Baker who came back as R2-D2. I thought that was cool. That they had Ian McDermott was in it, the Emperor. I mean, he came back and did it, and I love that guy. I think that guy's an awesome villain. Yeah. But as Darth Sidious was cool. I mean, I liked it. Yeah. I did like Darth Sidious. But other than that, you got to realize when we talk about it's wooden and the dialogue seems to go nowhere and it seems cheesy and corny. Because it is. I mean, it just feels like something's off. Like there's missing an ingredient, and it might be the backdrop is just too much CG, and that's what he's relying on.
Well, it's enough to piss you off because you've got this greatness. You've got the Star Wars greatness that only Star Wars can do, shoved into this ugly, terrible, fucking straight-to-video looking world, and it pisses you off. Mm-hmm. And let's start with one more thing.
Oh, we didn't mention it.
The darkness, the greatest Sith Lord of all time.
You can't say his name.
Jar Jar Binks. Like, seriously.
Say his name 2 more times, the fucker comes.
And when I talk about you made this movie to sell fucking toys and you shit on your own fucking filmography, is Jar Jar Binks incarnate. Dude. That's it.
When that little fucker opened his mouth, I was like, I'm done.
Mr. Ruined fucking movie.
And he was like, are you an idiot? He goes, Mr. Spank. And he was like, the ability to speak does not make one intelligent. And I was like, he goes, what? And I was like, oh God, dude, please let it in. I really was hoping when I saw it, I was like, okay, he's just gonna be left behind on the planet. He's just some stupid ass local. You're not gonna see him. Mm-hmm. Of course, again, you know what? Lucas was like, no, he's gonna be my new 3PO, and I'm gonna force him down everybody's fucking throat because he's gonna be the guy that everybody thinks is funny. He was terrible. He was absolutely
And they go back to him constantly during the great lightsaber battle. We gotta see what Jar Jar Binks is doing. He's out in the field doing some dumb shit. It's the worst. Like, they keep going back to him because Lucas is like, well, we got.
You know what it was?
The kids love it. Let's sell some more toys.
It was Goofy. It was literally Goofy from Disney.
Worst.
He looked like Goofy. And I will say there was. I don't know if it's true or not, and it could be. I don't know where I read it. This is crazy, dude. They said that the whole idea behind Jar Jar Binks was that he was supposed to be a Dark Lord of the Sith. And that's why he seemed very comical and kind of goofy and fun-loving. And in the end, he was supposed to be this dark-ass, menacing character that didn't talk like that talked like a normal evil lord, so that people would never expect it. It was supposed to be the twist, but because Lucas got such a backlash against Jar Jar Binks, he changed it completely.
I could believe that. And it's not just him. I mean, there's certain things in this movie that are just lazy. Like, he's lazy. I think that the different languages that because in the first ones, you go to these crazy worlds, you go to the bar in Tatooine, you go to all this shit like that. And everything's cool. There's all these, like, every single little weird alien guy you want to look at and be like, he looks so cool. Yeah. And this is just like stupid. It's stupid and it's lazy and they slap some CG and everybody's, even their dialect, their languages was like, bootsy, 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 bootsy. It's like, that's fucking lazy.
How many beers have you had, sir? And you know that fat guy, Bamba Noose or not, whatever that guy, I don't know, the big Boss Naboose. Or whatever the guy, the frog man in the body. He looked like a character from Super Mario Brothers. But that guy, but when he goes, and you still that spit, it looks like shit. It looks fake as fuck. I'm like, God, dude. I was like, why didn't you just not have him in it?
What do you think it's like when Jar Jar Binks has sex, by the way? Did you ever have sex like Jar Jar Binks? You're like, Mister gonna put my dick in. And then at the end when you finish, you go,
how did you know? No, actually, I did that. It's like, no, I didn't do that, but I was like, it's a dick hard. That would be funny though. I can't do it because it almost sounds like Mario. It's a damn Mario. But yeah, that would be crazy. If somebody, hey, if you guys have some spare time when you have to fuck around, if you got with your girl, go out there and do. Well, you're having sex, doing some stuff, or if you're a girl, do it with your guy. Go like have this romantic time and be like, they still want to have sex. or wait till
feels so good.
Wait till you get ready to that point. It's like, Mr. Gonna blow the love. and then be like, that's when the girl be like, get the fuck off. Like, we're not going. So,
Jar Jar.
God, dude.
The worst. But it's fucking terrible. They did it to sell toys, and then they shot on their own movie. Like, Greed. It's like the dark side. Greed overcame.
It's really sad because George Lucas is one of the best directors of all time as far as what he did with the trilogy, and then he comes back and does this. This would be like if Steven Spielberg or somebody just put out a shit fucking movie, and you were like if Steven Spielberg redid like E.T. And say it was Steven Spielberg directing it, and he just made it this big CG fucking mess. Yeah. Everybody like, are you fucking kidding?
It's the same thing. And then Natalie Portman, real quick, when we're talking about her, they want to do this whole thing where she's not the queen, she is the queen. They want to go back and forth.
Elected.
When she was like the queen, like the animatronic looking, like the shitty, they didn't put CGI makeup on her face. It looked like that was the worst acting I've ever seen. She was like, no matter what, it was always like a third grade deadpan fucking math teacher. She's like, yes, but what will we do if you don't go to the Senate?
Oh, I hated. Also, I didn't like the Trade Federation people. He was like, goes, we have people coming here.
Oh, they're awful.
He's like, we'll not survive this.
Yeah. They look like they actually. By the way, credit. I don't think they were CGI. No, they were trying to talk inside a mask. Yeah, he was so Chinese.
I know.
Like it was like, I don't go.
You know what's funny is it's the Trade Federation too. I think they are actually. I think that Lucas was at that time labeled a racist because he made it seem like that.
It sounded like a white guy trying to do a Chinese accent inside of a mask.
Well, by the way, did you know that Keira Knightley was in it? She was the.
She was the fake.
She was the.
I knew
somewhere. That was her.
It's driving me crazy.
Yeah. So, but as far as I do agree. I want to say one more thing about it. I know we've been rambling on about this movie. There's so much shitness to talk about, though. I always thought, even when I was a kid, I thought Anakin Skywalker should have been aged 12 or 13 years old. Not 8 years old. And
it's unbelievable.
And people are saying, well, it's kind of pedophile-ish, the way that they had with Padme. But then again, I will say this. Natalie Portman was 16 when the movie came out. Right. She was supposed to be playing a 14-year-old.
Found her at Pizza Hut.
Yeah, good for her. I would have got 3 pizzas. If I was young. I was that bitch's age back in '99, so it's not weird. But no, she's supposed to be playing a 14-year-old. He was 8, so I guess maybe. But I remember when I was 14, I wasn't like attracted to an 8-year-old. So I mean, I'm just saying it's kind of weird. But if you'd aged him 12 years old, like if he was 12 or 13 at least, then it would have made way better sense. Like,
a little bit more believable that he's gonna fucking fly a starship into the Death Star.
Well, I get that
not
because
the Death Star, but
yeah, but he had the Force. Like and I actually did kind of like the pod racing scene. I mean, I know it looks like shit now.
It was overly long too.
But it was good. I kind of liked that scene. I mean, I thought it was cool. I didn't like the whole Naboo attack run. I thought that was fucking terrible.
Yeah. But that's it. Like, there's greatness in this movie, and it's just surrounded by awful, tacky ass CGI. I ultimately give it, which is weird because it's the same score. It gets on IMDb. I give it a 6.5.
Exactly what I'm giving.
I think that there's some awesome stuff in this movie, and I love Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor, even though Ewan McGregor is really
Ray Park as Darth Maul.
Yeah, and Darth Maul, and that
and of course
lightsaber scene is just fucking.
That's one of the best lightsaber battles I've ever seen in my life. And of course, you can't leave out the classics. Anthony Daniels that came back to do C-3PO and Kenny Baker. Those guys are amazing. They always are good. But again, I will say one thing about that. I don't like the fact that George Lucas really wanted Anakin to build C-3PO. He wanted C-3PO, and it's so fucking bad. He had to have him in it.
He's an asshole, too. He's like, bye, Mom. Bye, Bot, that I didn't even give skin to. I don't give a fuck.
Some people said, somebody said that Shimmy Skywalker, his mother, was one of the worst actresses I've ever seen. I was like, I didn't think she was
okay, but a lot of people seemed wooden in this movie. A lot of people, and that's because of the direction of the script.
I don't know if it's the script. I mean, obviously the script was bad, but I wonder if it's also because they were so nervous it was Star Wars. Like, they kind of got the overwhelming, we're making Star Wars.
I can see that totally. Yeah. So that's our rating for it, guys. Comment below what your thoughts on Phantom Menace are. On to the next one.
We watched a movie.